Welcome back to the third week's lectures of Better Leader, Richer Life. In the first video this week, I talked about identifying your key stakeholders. Now, let's go into a bit more detail on understanding the performance expectations you have for each other. Building meaningful connections with people on whose support you depend is a sine qua non, an essential factor for leadership. It's difficult, if not impossible, to inspire others to get important things done unless they believe in you and what you're trying to achieve. You think of anyone you admire. I'll bet that this person is seen by the people around him or her as trustworthy, and that his or her credibility is based, at least in part, on a capacity to see things from others' perspectives. Doing so gives you the power to help them see the benefits of what you are trying to achieve in the world and how and why they should support you. So once you've identified your key stakeholders, the next step is to consider what you think they expect from you. What do they see when they look at you? In your assignment this week, I'll ask you to write about the most important people at work or school, at home, in your community, and in the fourth domain, which is you, you'll note the expectations you have for yourself with respect to your spirituality, if that matters to you, your relaxation or play, your physical health, and your emotional health. Indeed, you are definitely the most complicated stakeholder of all. I'll ask you to provide your best guess as to what each of these individuals or groups needs from you, what they want you to do to enrich their lives. You'll try to put yourself inside their minds, and then in a paragraph or two, describe their expectations of you. And then I'll ask you to estimate how well you think you're doing in meeting those expectations on a scale of 1, poorly, to 10, well, or even perfectly. Students of all ages often find that they have certain expectations of themselves that their stakeholders don't share. This part of our course over the next couple of weeks is designed to help you to uncover these differences in expectations and to evaluate whether your perceptions are accurate. I've observed that people often overstate or exaggerate the expectations their stakeholders have of them. There's also a tendency to rate yourself lowest in terms of fulfilling expectations in the domain of the private self. So, if you rated your performance lowest in the self-domain about how you feel you're doing in meeting your own goals with respect to your mind, body, and spirit, you are definitely not alone. That's typical. So, after you've considered what you think others expect of you and how well you're doing in meeting those expectations, it's useful to look at them as a whole. What's important to them as a whole group? And are there ways in which the expectations a stakeholder in one domain has of you that are compatible with those of a stakeholder in a different domain? Do they mesh in some way? Where do they conflict? And do these expectations fit with your values and what you want to achieve in the future? These are the important questions that you'll start to consider. Now, let's flip it around and explore what you expect of your stakeholders and how well you believe they're meeting your expectations. It's useful to describe the support you need from the people around you to achieve your goals and to integrate the 4 domains of your life. You need to think about what those needs are. And then ask yourself these questions. What are the main things I need from the most important people around me in total? And then looking at them separately, how compatible are my expectations for them with what they expect of me? And how does what you look for in others fit with what's most important to you, according to who you are and where you want to go, the things you wrote about last week? By asking yourself these questions, you'll start to see in new ways how the different domains are all a part of one system in which the elements affect each other. They'll help you to grasp the whole and give you a fresh perspective on the connections among these different parts of your life. Before we move on to analyzing the system of stakeholder expectations surrounding you and what you can do as a result of your further insights and thinking about this system, let me reiterate that when you do this assignment, please convey only the information that you feel comfortable writing about. And of course, you need not use the names of actual people in your life when composing your stakeholder analyses in this assignment. As I've said, in this course, you have full control over what you choose to share. And you can always write a different set of responses for posting as assignments than what you might write elsewhere for your own private use. You'll find more guidance on our course page, which includes links to videos of alumni talking about their experiences with their stakeholder dialogues and other useful resources. But now, let's look at those relationships as an interdependent system. For this will be valuable to you as you think further about ideas for creating positive change to improve your performance as a leader in the different parts of your life, those 4-way wins. That's coming up in the next video.